Hey everybody, welcome to the Ballet Rising videocast. Today I'm really excited to be speaking with a very good friend of mine, someone who I've known for several years now, and he's an incredible dancer and just a super fun person. He's originally from Brazil but grew up and trained in the Cranko School in Stuttgart, Germany, where he eventually rose to become a principal dancer. Now, having danced with many of the top ballet companies around the world, including the Dutch National Ballet, the Royal Ballet, the Mariinsky Theatre, Australian Ballet, and so many others, he's pretty much on top of the world right now. He's one of the biggest stars, and it's just really exciting to see him really grow and become such a household name in the ballet world. So I'd like to welcome Daniel Camargo. All right, here we are with Danny Camargo, man. Good to see you. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, nice, man. Cool. So where are you right now?
At the moment, I'm in Hong Kong. I'm in quarantine and just about to finish. So my last day tomorrow, and then I'm free.
Wow. And
Yes.
you said it was 3 weeks. You said you've been in quarantine and you're.
Yes, Hong Kong is 21 days, and you're not allowed to leave the room. You're like full on locked in the hotel.
Wow.
And for 3 weeks, yeah.
Jeez, which part of Hong Kong are you in?
At the moment, I'm in the airport. So basically, I landed, went through the whole process of checking in, all the tests, everything, and straight away stand in a. They have hotels which just for quarantine,
Yeah.
and I stayed in the one here in the airport right away.
Hmm.
So I haven't even really been in the city yet. I haven't really left the airport.
You're gonna love it. Hong Kong is one of my favorite places on the entire planet. I just think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite cities.
Nice. Yes, I heard great things.
Yeah, it's just packed with eye candy everywhere. I mean, beautiful landscapes and huge tall buildings, tons of culture, nightlife. Just Hong Kong is just packed with everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, let's get into a little bit about you, about yourself. I mean, because you're a big star. You're on top of the world right now. You've been guesting with all the top opera houses around the world. So let's just talk a little bit about where you're from and how you grew up and how you got into ballet a little bit.
Sure. Well, I started dancing in Ourinhos, but I was born in Sorocaba and started dancing in Ourinhos through my two sisters, which are also dancers.
Yeah.
So basically, they were the ones who went and started this whole our connection with arts, basically. And the teachers saw that they had a lot of talent and find out, oh, you guys also have a little brother. So it was already a new thing for two the same family members being in the school. So they're like, hey, you have the third one, just bring him with you. And I remember being in a performance and they came to talk to me and just asked me, hey, would you be interested in taking a ballet class? And I remember my first reaction was, I wasn't sure. I was like, does guys also do ballet? Like this typical question for a guy being ballet is just for girls, right? And the teacher right away, he was, look, just give a shot, try. If you don't like it, you don't need to come again. So I was like, yeah, why not? I was about 10 years old. So I went, took a class and somehow just got into it. It was like automatically. But it was more the funny thing for our family, how we got into ballet was basically we got now to a very strong connection with dance because basically it was our way out of where we came from. Because when I was around 2 years old, my mom left home. My father had a lot of problems with drinking and everything. So she literally had to take us as kids and run from home.
Wow.
And we started living with my grandparents, who at the moment, they had a room where we just started living with them. And as the years passed by, my sisters saw in the newspaper audition for the ballet school. So they're like, hey, why not should we try both of them?
Yeah.
So they went and they got in the ballet school. So that's how they got into it. And people start seeing, okay, you guys have a talent here. And then they took me with them. And at some point, the teacher was like, look, if you work hard, if you believe in yourself and you really work, this can become something. Like you can become a professional ballet dancer. So for me, at that moment was just a tunnel vision. It was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of my family. And that's what's going to be my future. So it was like it was just automatically. I didn't look right or left. There was not many options at that moment. So it was like, for me, it was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
And from there, start doing a few competitions, prices start to come, start to get confident with it, and start seeing that ballet is a whole different world to what I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was a whole different thing.
So you started taking classes when you're about 10, but what age were you when it just clicked and you were like, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
It was right after like half a year.
Oh, really?
Was,
wow.
Yes. We went to the first competition and you would see the bigger, I was about 12, I think, and you see the seniors and doing this really cool stuff and jumping and everything. And yes, my teacher was just, look, if you believe in it, if you work hard, you can go far. And yeah, that's when it's just, for me, it clicked and it was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Nice.
And we changed school after. So my sisters graduate. They went to Curitiba, which has the company and the ballet school. So they joined the company. One of my sisters she was only 15 and the company was like, we want you in the company. So she started working already. And I went to the ballet school. And in this school was really, I had a great teacher who was really the motor, I think, in the beginning to take us out of Brazil. So we did the Youth American Grand Prix, where I got the scholarship to the John Cranko School.
Oh, wow.
And that was when I moved from Brazil to Germany.
Wow. All right, let's go through that step by step, because that's how old were you at that point?
At that point, I moved over there exactly a week before I became 14.
Wow. So a 14-year-old kid from Brazil suddenly, boom, in Stuttgart, Germany, in one of the best ballet schools in the world. How was that transition for you?
It was, yes, the beginning was not easy, definitely. Brazil and Germany are like so opposite, you know, the way people are, the way how everything works is just so different. And for me, I spoke a little bit very bad English. So the communication in the beginning, there was no Brazilians at the school at the time. And it was just a long process of getting used to it, to the weather, seeing snow for the first time, getting to a Russian school, because in Brazil, my teachers were it was based in the French school, in the French technique, but they really tried to put as much as information as they could to us, so we would just develop, you know. So for me, going there was also, in the dancing part, was also doing a step back and really starting the Russian school from scratch. Really, I haven't really had a Russian teacher before.
Wow. Okay.
And getting used to the German country, you know, like the weather, the food, everything was just.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world. I can't. I mean, I've been to Brazil, but and I've been to Germany many times, but you know, I can't imagine having such a drastic switch. I mean, it's a whole nother hemisphere.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. And were you intimidated at all? You know, like, I had a conversation quite a while ago with Julio Boca, and he was talking to me about when he had left South America. He felt very like, you know, who am I? I'm just some dancer from South America. I'm not going to make it in Europe and this in in the north, you know. And you know, so he really led the way and sort of opened the door for a lot of people. And so how was that experience for you? Because even at your time, there was still, you know, there's more South American dancers, I think, than there ever has been before, but still not that many, you know. How was that experience for you?
It was, I would think that if I would have more South American people in the school, the transition could have been easier, because it's a different, yeah, we do have a different mentality. We have a different way of just being. And, but also it made me, in another way, it was easy to learn the language because I had no choice. You just step into it and you need to learn German. And in the school, everyone was doing the same, like, you know, it's in the box. You're doing everything the same thing.
Everything's very
so, yes. And I was living with them. So I was in the internat and then in the school. So I was living with my schoolmates 24/7. So we were all in the same boat, basically. Some people came already a year earlier, which they were already used to it. But this readjustment, yes, I did had a lot of, it was a lot of homesick from the beginning. So the school got me a ticket for the Christmas. So everyone, the school would shut. So the sponsors got me tickets to go back home.
Oh, nice.
And I remember the first year, I was like, I'm not gonna come back. I'm staying in Brazil. As I left, and I was like speaking to my family, and I was like, I don't really want to go back. Like, I really miss Brazil, miss my family.
Yeah.
But they were really like, you know, try. It's just, there was just a few months. I went in September, back in December, so it's still a very short period. So, you know, like, just go a little bit more and really try to get into the system. And luckily, I did that and got used to it, you know, got really back into the school system.
What do you think was it that changed for you in those 3 months that made you decide to say, okay, maybe I'll try this a bit long, give it another shot?
Just that it was, there was just a very short period, the 3 months, that I really need to at least stay a whole year to really have to really see what it's about and to really try to connect with the school, with the people, and really have a base.
Oh, okay. Nice, man. So from there, you were in Stuttgart. You were dancing really well. I mean, for those people who don't know, Stuttgart, the Cranko School is one of the greatest schools in the world, and so many great dancers have come from there. So you're there, you're dancing, and then you got into the company. Well, you know, what was that whole process like?
Yes, it was also, I was very lucky to be able, my last 2 years in the school, I had to work with Peter Pestov, which is great teacher boys teacher from the Bolshoi school.
Oh yeah,
so
he's one of the greatest.
Last year also really made a step as a preparation from the school to join the company. And yes, once you turn to a professional, it's a whole different world. Basically, everything opens again, and you're like, okay, everything what you learn, you need to put into the stage, and you have this time that is never enough time for rehearsals. You need to be quick. You need to. So the first years was also very of getting used to the whole pressure and the whole process of, okay, now you just need to bring everything what you learned for 8 years, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah, because we spend so many years studying, and then all of a sudden it's like you're in the company. It's sort of like a performance. It's one big long performance. You know, your whole school year is sort of the rehearsal, and your professional career is the performance. And it's just like boom, the curtain goes up, and you're like, ah.
Exactly.
It's quite.
Yeah, I felt a lot of the times I felt not prepared, not ready, because it's this thing of you don't have time. You have the schedule in every company, but also because you don't have the experience, I think it's that thing that you never really feel 100%. I don't know how it was for you when you joined.
Exactly the same. I mean, yeah, because my teachers were very like particular about preparing me for things and making sure that I was ready, and I had all that personal attention and care. And once you get in the company, it's like, no, you have to do it yourself. If you don't, then get out. Yeah, so it was really shocking for me, my first few years as a professional.
Yeah, same. And it was good that the company was giving me a lot of they giving me a lot of roles to really go and try things that I was doing solo roles, and then I started doing principal roles, and everything started to roll out quite fast.
Nice.
So it was good because at the same time you would see a result of thinking is going somewhere, but it was tough as well, definitely, to be there the whole time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But satisfying once you really work on something, and then you come on the stage and you do a premiere and you see that you give it all. That's when you get reward from it, and you're like, okay, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, all that pressure is just building up and building up and building up, and you release it all on the stage, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I did it. Yeah, I think that's one of the most gratifying experiences I'll ever have in my life, is just getting off the stage and knowing that you did really well, that all that rehearsal and preparation was for something and it came together. I think there's just fewer things in my life that I've ever had that are so rewarding and just, fulfilling. You never forget that. Even years after retiring, you're still like, oh, I remember that moment. I miss that. That's what I miss. People ask me all the time what I miss about dancing, and it's those moments that I really miss. There's so much about the career that, I'm older now. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff anymore, but there's those little things that right there are just, they're priceless.
Yes. It's so much work that you put into it, right? So many hours, you sweat so much to bring out the role, create a role, and then once you do it and you have that feeling that you worked, yes, it's just you can't really describe.
I've also had kind of the first time I ever did Romeo. I rehearsed it for months and months and months and months, and then I finally, I really got into the role and absorbed it, and really just became Romeo in a sense. And I remember I only got one show. I was a first year soloist, and all the principals got their shows, and I got my one show. And I remember just finishing the show, and it was actually kind of for a day I felt just amazing. I was on cloud nine, and then after that there was just this sort of long depression of sort of like, okay, I want to keep doing this.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I need like 4 or 5 more shows, to feel like I stay in that moment. But yeah, I was just like, and then
that's also I think I've been thinking about that as well, that when companies when you're younger, they give you a lot of roles to do it and everything, and you just like stepping up, you get used to that at some point that there is not this next step. You do get into a certain point of roles, of how you really need to think how I'm gonna continue growing. You always can grow as an artist. Every performance, no matter what you do, it always can be better. Yeah. And it's really, I also thought that there's only a few shows that I was really, really happy about. Most of the time, you do have that satisfaction of like, oh, okay, we did it. But you always see what you can do better and what you can. So it's always this taste of also not always looking for, right? Mm-hmm. But in a young career where you're just building up and you get everything so soon, at some point, how I think the companies also need to know how to continue that person, right? That artist, continue pushing them for them to always look something ahead. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really important that directors understand how to develop dancers gradually. Because I have seen a lot of, not a lot, but I've seen some dancers that sort of got too much too soon. and then they didn't know where to go from there. You know, there's always something to work on. There's always something to build towards. But, and just going back to my own personal experience, I had a point where I was a soloist where I was pretty much only doing principal roles. And I felt like I was pretty much an underpaid principal. And then suddenly, because of the casting, you know, there was whatever, I got pushed back to doing just a bunch of soloist roles. And so I was going up, and then suddenly I just kind of went sideways for a little while. And I even had to do a corps role because there was a bunch of corps dancers and injured. So I was like, okay, I had to step back, and it was just the most depressing feeling. You know, I wasn't continuing to grow up. I felt like I took a dip there. And that was a learning experience for me to understand how to, you know, push through that and then climb again. Yeah, those moments are a bit like soul searching.
Definitely, because you get used to it, no? To be always in that adrenaline.
Yeah.
And at some point, if you get to a point where it's not the same, it's a challenge of finding out, okay, where can you grow? Where can you grow?
Yeah. Where can I establish a new base to start growing from there again? And I think for because we're still very young. We're young adults when we start our career. You know, I was in my early 20s when I started doing principals and soloist roles, and same with you. You know, you're still not a fully developed person, especially boys. You know, we develop a little later mentally, and just finding how to push through those challenges is a learning experience.
Yes, definitely.
So you had it. You were dancing at Stuttgart. You became a principal dancer, and from there, you really just kind of came out and went boom, and you really came onto the global stage. Let's go through that a little bit more. How you sort of I think you eventually left Stuttgart, and then.
So I became. I was 21, I think, when I became principal in Stuttgart, and then stayed in the company until 2016, where I was 25. And I really felt the need to experience new things, to have the change to get out and do things outside. So I moved to Amsterdam, which I came already as a principal, and also I had the freedom to really, like you said, experience this stuff in the outside, in the international world, where I was very lucky how things I didn't expect to be that way, but somehow companies start asking me, and galas, and people start asking me to dance with them, and it went kind of like a snowball, one thing after the other, and boom, 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 and I was very fortunate to dance in a lot of places.
Yeah, I remember when you came to Amsterdam. That was my last season with the company. I was Drosselmeyer for you.
I know that.
Now I remember I was watching you because I came to Dutch National the same way. I came as a guest and then later joined as a principal dancer. And I was watching you. You know, I was at the end of my career, just about to retire. I'm like, hey, this guy's good. This guy's really good.
You took me out on that show. I remember you taking me around, like, don't forget that entrance.
Yeah, I heard you were going to maybe join the company. I was like, okay, this guy will be a really nice addition. So yeah, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you did.
Yes, no, it was definitely a good choice. It was definitely a good choice to have, because it was a need that I had to really experience to have this experience. I was having these invitations to have this international experience. So I really felt, okay, it's something that I want to go through, that I want to learn. And it brought me also this new thing of going somewhere, having a few hours, get ready, and boom, show is on. So you don't really have much time. You need to be quick to adjust, to go on the stage and dance with someone that you never danced before. So you don't know what the partner is going to do. If suddenly she's going to go for it, or someone that is easy. So you need to be the one. So that was, for me, it was very interesting to bring my awareness of, okay, where am I? Who am I? And how to interact with these dancers, with the company, with the time change, everything what comes with.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting time, definitely.
And that's when everything just kind of seemed to just go crazy, because from there you've danced with the Royal Ballet, the Mariinsky Ballet, Australian Ballet. I mean, it just seems like you're on top of the world. You're one of the biggest stars in the world. So I mean, you know, how does that feel?
I I don't see myself that way, honestly. But
Good.
I had to do a work where I had to go through the companies and everything. And at some point now, I stepped, and it was when I realized, I was like, okay, no, I did went through in this three. It was a very short period, but I did got a lot of experience in this 3 years that I didn't never thought I would do it. I thought I was gonna have a, you know, have a change, be as a principal, always work on my roles and try to develop as an artist. But I didn't thought there would be that that I would achieve that range in the uh, international world with the other companies. So it's definitely happy about how everything it works, and it was like a snowball. So it was one after the other.
Great. Yeah, I mean, few people on this planet. There's only a handful of dancers on this planet that can say they've guested with, you know, the Mariinsky Theater and the Royal Ballet. I mean,
Yes, yeah. The it was also the people who I was dancing to that I was shocked. Sometimes we would just be doing with really really lead ballerinas, and I was just suddenly there sharing the stage with them. And what I most liked it from this experience was that the really top ballerinas in the world, one of the best of generations, were the most nice ones.
hmm.
That for me was a really something that I really take in consideration of the person who they are before as a dancer, that they were treating me as another human being. Of what do you think? Should we do this way? That it was a what we call a pas de deux, a partnership, right? Two people dancing together.
Yeah.
And I had experience before where it was completely the opposite, where basically I was dancing for someone else and filling up the needs that someone else need.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to see how human the really, you know, what we call stars were actually just a normal person who works hard to get there and treat others, the new generation, just as another human being. That for me was great. Yeah.
That's the greatest thing, when you see somebody who's achieved such a tremendous amount of respect and still they're just very humble and personable. Because I had the same. I danced with quite a few big stars, and most of them were great. I got along with all of my partners really well, but there were a couple that were like, wow, I'm just gonna leave. I don't need to.
There's no need for that. It doesn't help in any way. Just as really the respect of with who you're dancing and really connecting the same level.
Yeah, for sure. And so now you're in Hong Kong. You're guesting with the Hong Kong Ballet. Nice, man. What are you doing there?
So we're doing jewels. I'm gonna be doing rubies and diamonds.
Great.
And then doing a new version of Romeo and Juliet from September.
Okay.
So it looks like everything, the theaters are opening again. I think they're planning to have 70% of the public.
Great.
So it's good to now doing this whole time, a long time without being performing, without being on the stage. Struggle for everyone, but it looks like there's a light in the end of the tunnel. You know, it looks like we're going.
It seems like it. Things are finally starting to open up a little bit. We're still in lockdown here in Amsterdam. We've been in a pretty hard lockdown since December with curfews and but I think maybe towards the end of this month we're going to start opening up bit by bit. But you know, I can't imagine what this moment must be like to be a dancer in this time. You know, it's just because our careers are so short, you know, and you want to make the best of every minute you've got, and yet people, just about everybody I've talked to right now, they kind of feel like they're just kind of sitting around waiting this thing out, watching their careers go by. And that must be the most frustrating thing. And then on top of it, for the past, what is it, 2.5 or 2 years now,
Mhm.
you've been a freelancer. And with all shows canceled and everything done, you know, this must have been a really, really tough period. You know, what have you been going through? What have you been up to?
Yes, it was basically I had as a started as a freelancer in the beginning of the season, and the pandemic was the lockdown starts in March. So I had this few months where it was really really nice. I was dancing a lot. Did a film project was supposed to come up late this year, and so it was a lot of new experience coming, which was really nice. And suddenly, boom, this stopped. So for me, it was a moment where I really thought, okay, this is bigger than all of us. There's nothing we can do, like really, and literally, no one knew how long this is gonna go, what's gonna happen. So was it was an emotional roller coaster, I would say, of okay, first you don't want to see, you still want to keep in shape, and you're still doing stuff to keep yourself ready. But then at some point you realize it's not going anywhere. You're not going to be performing for maybe another 6 months. Or so for me it was really a time that I stepped back, and I was like, luckily everything so far in my career, I never had a really big injury where I went through a surgery or that I stopped for more than a few weeks. Like I had a lot of inflammation and pain, or tear a muscle, or but nothing major where I really need a surgery and stop. So I took this as an injury, really. I was like, I'm gonna take now a time off, and if I see that okay, something is coming, something's planning, then I'll get ready for that. But I'll just really, I never stopped in my since I started dancing from 10 to now. It's been literally almost, I'm 29 now, so it's almost 20 years that I haven't really stopped for a few months. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop now and see what do I like doing. And I went to Portugal. And I tried surfing. And I absolutely loved it.
Why not?
It was really, yes, it was something physically. I was in contact with the nature. Over there, the lockdown wasn't not so hard.
Yeah.
So you do have a space, and also in the south of Portugal, you have a lot of space outside. So for me, it was very important to also connect with people from different backgrounds.
Nice.
Of really met so many people from that had so many, different jobs, different life experiences, different. And for me, that was so interesting to really, most of the times I'm always with dancers because we don't stop. We just the whole time working.
Yeah, we're such a closed little community.
Yeah. Yes. And you don't really meet the around people from other fields. So for me, that was a very good, important experience that I had to go through to really have this connection with people from different backgrounds. But at some point I was like, okay, I think I stopped for 4 months, and I was like, okay, even if I didn't have a show, I was like, this might be too long of a break. I do want to take care of my, even if I don't see, I need to go back to my bases and start training again.
Get that first position going on.
Exactly. So I was going to the studio to start in training again, and I received a call from Maria in Finland that someone got injured and they need someone for Corsair. So on my way to the training, it was like right away, it was like, boom, you have something coming up. You have 5 weeks. So that was a perfect timing where I really, okay, now we need to get ready for the show and starts the engine again.
Oh, great. How was that getting back into it?
It was hard. it was hard. After 4 months, it was hard, but once we know what we need to do for our body to work, and I think it's very important to know each person works differently, and I think by now I have an idea what I do need to be able to go on the stage. And that was the perfect experience to get back in 5 weeks, train everything, do my class, get the body ready, and also Corsair, something that is more to the way I dance is. If I would be doing, I would say I don't see myself so much as a prince. Okay. But that was definitely also a repertoire which would be easier for me to get ready to.
Yeah, that's hard ballet though. You were doing Conrad, right?
Was Conrad, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's a hard ballet. That's quite a few variations and things.
Yeah.
Trial by fire. Here you go. You're back.
But that puts me in a position of really getting ready and really stepping into it and be okay, this is going to be done.
Yeah, good. So you can just really finally focus again.
Focus on it and get ready. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And so how are you keeping in shape in Hong Kong? Because you said you've been in your hotel room now for 3 weeks.
They did a great job of setting up a floor from I think it's a piece from the stage when they travel. So it's a sprung floor of about 2 meters to 1.5 and a bar.
Yeah.
So, and the room has 2 rooms. So we have the bedroom and the living room. So basically my living room became my studio.
Okay.
And I took a lot of things like for workouts or for strengthening, and brought everything with me. And just in these 3 weeks, I did a to-do list before I came in so that I would have this stuff that I had to go through the day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't just be sitting down and waiting the 3 weeks to be over.
Yeah, I mean, that's like getting into it.
That would not be possible, exactly. So really, it was perfect to really get it done what I need to stay in shape.
So you're able to do cardio and jumping and turns and everything inside your hotel room? Wow. All right, great. That's nice. Yes. Awesome, man. Well, great. So, do you have anything? I'm curious to know, like, if you could say anything to young dancers that are coming from sort of places around the world where they feel a little bit, disconnected from the main centers of ballet, places like Brazil or maybe Africa or places like that. Do you have anything that you'd love to say to everybody that might inspire them or just
yes
connect the community a little further?
I think one of the reasons that I came to Europe and got into a ballet school and a company, one of the main reasons was because I did believe what my teacher told me. So I always had hope that one day something was gonna come up, and I think that's like one of the main things, that if you hope that you're gonna, that's your wish to become a professional dancer, you already have halfway. You just really need to keep seeing where you can improve yourself, how you can become an artist. So to really believe in that. And if it's in countries like in Brazil, I had to go a lot of the problem from the outside, people seeing that this is not something that boys should be doing, for example. That this is just use that as a strength to get somewhere, and really not let that be the reason why you didn't continue, and be like, oh, I don't want people be making fun of me, and really just use that as, I'm gonna be what I believe that I can become a dancer, so I'm gonna use that to just develop and as an artist and do the things I need to do to get there. And really don't let that be the reason to stop you.
Awesome,
really,
man. Yeah, I always try to tell, something that really helped me a lot was to sort of think about setting goals. I was taught as a kid to always set goals in life. Don't just think, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do something. No, set a goal of doing something, and set like medium and long-term goals so that you have like sort of waypoints to get from here to where you want to be. And yeah, exactly like you said, don't let something become an excuse, you know. Oh, they made fun of me, something like that. Don't let that be an excuse to sort of pull you away from your goal. You know, go for what you want, and just believe that you can do it. So yeah, awesome, man. That's great.
Let's say walls that comes along the way. If we pass that, it's only gonna make us stronger, right? You're just gonna learn from it. It's gonna be many walls that you need to go through or jump over, or to really continue the way, because it's also a profession that is not easy. Is extreme reward when you are on the stage, when you're doing things, but to get to that point, it's a lot of hard work. There's
going to be a lot of things that get in your way, but you know, if you're strong and you want it bad enough, you can get around them, and you'll get there.
If someone wants, I see that as already halfway there. Definitely.
Nice, man. Cool. Perfect. Well, man, this is great to see you. Thank you so much for being here and talking, and all the best in Hong Kong. I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening on Instagram and everything like that. I think you're going to love the city. Take lots of pictures.
I will, definitely. No, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. We've been talking for a while. I'm glad we made it.
Yeah, finally. Well, we'll do a lot more in the future. So this is a great little first step, and definitely want to have you as a bigger part of Ballet Rising in the future. I think you're a real inspiration to a lot of young dancers, particularly from South America. I think they'll really look up to your example, and yeah, things will be great. So thanks so much, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.
Ciao, ciao.